Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Billy Bones from the Boneyard, and today we have Maso here today from Psychedelic Games, and they're building out Golden Tides. What's up, Maso? Go ahead and give yourself an intro and tell us what you're up to.
Hey everyone, Billy and Seuss, thank you for having me. My
Good
name is
morning.
Mason, but my screen name is Maso, and I'm the co-founder of Psychedelic Games, and we are making Golden Tides, which is a fantasy pirate-themed MOBA where you build a crew with your friends and sail hunting for treasure. But the only catch is the treasure is real, and we're burying cryptocurrency and NFTs in the game for you to find and keep.
Hell yeah, I love that idea. Little did I know that my name is a pirate name, my username that I go by. My name is Billy, but I've been going by Billy Bones since I was like 18. Some rockabilly guy just started calling me Billy Bones one day. I'm like, what is that from? And he says it's from some psychobilly band. Some guy fell in love with the tattoo needle, got all kinds of tattoos, and I was like, you know what? That sounds awesome. I want that tattooed on me in bones, like the font. And he goes, what? No way. And he goes, I do tattoos. And I was just like, and here we are today. It says Billy Bones. I don't know if you can see that. It's
Yeah, I
really
see
old.
it.
A lot of my tattoos are from when I was like 18 years old, and maybe regret some of them. But yes, this I go by Billy Bones my whole life. So then someone told me about. Someone said, "Oh, what's that show? Have you seen Black Sail?"
Yeah, I have seen Black Sail, at least a couple episodes.
I haven't seen any of them, and of course, everyone's heard of like Treasure Island and stuff like that, and a lot of the famous pirates and lore and stuff like that. I'm not too much into it, but little did I know that one of the pirates' names were Billy Bones or something like that. So
Yeah,
people
it's
like kind of time me and ask me about that, like, "Hey, Billy Bones from like the pirate story, this and that." And I'm like, I don't know. So
yeah, it's always the Jolly Rogers. It's just always bone associated, so it just kind of fits the world. I think your logo here is ready to be like on a pirate flag in our game, so we'll get the Boneyard community sailing soon.
yeah, I would love that. I got to test it out last week, and
Mm,
I think Seuss would love it. He's very much into competitive gaming. I'm more of a casual like RPG fan.
yeah.
So when I played, it's a little sweaty sometimes, but it's very fun. I like the idea of treasure. If we can go like look for treasure and get our team together, that
Yeah.
sounds super fun. Like maybe I can go find the treasure and bury it myself, and then like X marks the spot. And there isn't
Mhm.
like a little radius indicator where it's at, like when we were playtesting it, and then someone has to randomly go find a little red X somewhere, something. It sounds like it would be fun. So when I
Yeah.
played it,
Well, I do have a surprise for you, Billy. And the game you played is just the alpha version. And when you do
right,
play the final version, it is a quest racing game where you have to complete quests on your way to the final treasure. And like it's PvP and PvE simultaneously. So it's going to be like the version you played is mostly just combat PvP because that's all that's in the game right now. But once we have like finished building out the world, it'll be a game where you kind of are casually doing PvE until you run into another group. So it's like somewhere between that casual and sweatiness.
yeah. No, I well just being part of the alpha playtest, I was enjoying it and I loved it. So I can't wait for the quests. I'm more of that questing person. Um, so what how did you? What is your role in Golden Tides exactly? Like, what are you working on so I can better ask you some more questions? Because I don't know who you are. I don't know who you guys are or what.
Yeah.
I heard everyone talking about you guys, so you got to be doing something right because everyone's saying, "Have you played Golden Tides yet?" It's got potential.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you a little bit about what we're up to right now. Um, I'm the COO, so I basically do whatever job is not being handled by anybody else. And I build out the departments, and I'm also a creative director. But the team is primarily we operate more like a family, and everyone gets their voices heard, and we try to just make sure that we're putting out the most fun game. Um, so right now, we've reached our alpha testing phase, and we are inviting communities to come test the game to earn an exclusive alpha NFT. This is giving us some, quality assurance type game testing to make sure that we make the most fun game for everybody. We think that the Web3 community for gaming is like highly underserved for games that would last. The IP could go beyond 50 hours of playing. So we wanted to focus on like an esports related type game. So we're bringing in people to just come try it out. My role is just I do a little bit of everything. So
whatever someone's not doing, you got a ton of hats and.
yeah, I mean, right now I do primarily the like outspoken stuff, like podcasts, like what we're doing right now, and leading the marketing team, and onboarding communities. It's a lot of outward reach right now for me, while the team works internally. Currently, we're adding like ship battles, improving those, and then we'll be adding NPCs to the world, and then we'll be implementing quests all of on our way to the beta launch.
Excuse me. Yeah, no, it was fun. What I would it kind of reminds me when I was young. I forget which platform it was on, but I played Sid Meier's Pirates, and it was really it's rough around the edges because it's old, or maybe because it was like a PC game adaptation. I'm not too sure, but my brother was playing it, and he said you got to play this, and I was like, Sid Meier's, like, doesn't he make like real world stuff like Civilization and stuff like that? And I started playing it, and it was really cool because you can just drive around on your ship, you can fight other pirates, and I forgot what else you can do, but it was really fun. And the idea of pirates, and even as a young kid, because I'm in my 30s now, when I used to play PC games at my grandpa's house, he had Full Throttle, he had Warcraft, when before it was WoW. It was just an RTS
Warcraft 3, an all timer.
Yeah. I didn't like 3 too much because of the voice acting, but the second one, Tides of Darkness, that was real fun. But what I wanted to get to was Muppet Treasure Island. I know it's the Muppets and stuff, but it's just like the Pirates of the Caribbean and all that good stuff. So we played that on his old PC and stuff. And Sid Meier's Pirates kind of just drew me back to that. And just, I don't know what it is about pirates. Like, it's fun. It's just fun in general, and even for someone like Seuss is probably not into pirates. I'm not too sure, but he is into like competitive gaming. Yeah. And he used to play. You want to tell a little bit about your background and why you would want to be a competitive gamer, Seuss?
Yeah, well, basically, I'm 33 years old now, and I started playing games long time ago. But anyway, I remember the first game I ever played it competitively. I used to play like a lot of solo. I played Need for Speed on my PC, back in the Pentium and Celeron day, And one time I saw my brother actually playing an online game, and he was like screaming, shouting, and I was like, what are you doing? We used to play Counter-Strike, but then when we played Counter-Strike, it was the Counter-Strike source, and we used to play it in lane, So I was like new to like online competitive game. I remember back then the game was Smite. I don't know if you heard of it. It's a MOBA game, but it's a 3D version of MOBA game.
Yeah, so Smite might be one of the closest things to Golden Tides. Like when you talk about the controls and the view, Smite is one of the more similar ones where it's WASD. It's not click to move.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I have not tried Golden Tide yet. Billy did, and he was like, "You should try this game, man. You're gonna love it." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get into it soon." But yeah. Anyway, so he was like, okay, this is MOBA game. Do you know what's MOBA game? I told him, no. He's like, okay, let me teach you some. And I started playing that game. And I just clicked in, talking with your teammate, raging, and all of this, it's just put you in. So I've been playing competitively for a lot. I really hate playing solo games. I play online games. I played Overwatch. I have more than 20,000 plus hour in Overwatch. I played with pros like XQC and other people, even though I'm in Philippines.
You're gonna love Golden Tides. I already know. It's like it's League of Legends meets Overwatch with quests.
Okay. Yeah, that's what Billy is saying. You're gonna love it. So I created my team, and I brought players that they were like in low rank in Overwatch, and we start training together. And We had a pretty solid team. We were mostly competing in tier two, but um, through the qualification, we were about to make it to tier one. We needed to win one game, and that was the breaking point for me, where I actually stopped playing Overwatch because for the last game, if we won, we had a talk with the global esport, because we won the global esport team in Overwatch, and they had a full Indian team back then, but they wanted a global Southeast Asian team. So like, if you make it to tier one, we can sponsor you guys. We can take you in, And the last game we had some beef with really good players in the server, and they ended up account sharing and stuff like this. So we ended up losing that game, which is our qualification game to tier one. Pretty sad, but yeah, I played competitively a lot. Man, I'm telling you, if you don't play a game, and I say it to Billy, if you don't play a game and you hit your table multiple times and you rage and you actually start screaming and swearing and sweating, it's not fun game for me. This is how I like my games. Some people like to sit and chill. Sure, I sit and chill, play in my PlayStation maybe, but if you are telling me you're playing on your PC and sitting in your chair with the headset on for like 8, 10 hours a day, 15 hours a day, man, the game need to be sweaty. That's how you enjoy the game. That's my perspective when it's come to gaming. That's the game.
I love that you guys are both on opposite sides of the spectrum, and that's what I
Yeah.
love. That Golden Tides is built for both of you, because it's like when you're playing. Have you played Fortnite, Seuss?
I did play it a bit, but wasn't for me.
Because it's a little too slow for you, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so Fortnite has that battle royale pacing where you're kind of like you're waiting and waiting and waiting until the big battle comes, right? So like that's kind of like in that process of exploring is more what Billy likes, and then those battles are more like what you like. But if you littered like quests and NPCs into Fortnite and you had to do things along the way, and your goal
Mhm,
wasn't to kill other people but to complete the quest and like get to an objective, then
mhm.
it's like this perfect mix of what Billy likes. And then when other people are doing the same quest and you have to fight them to complete the quest, then it's what you like. So I feel like it's in a good place to attract all types of gamers.
But this is actually what's actually, I think it's really good. And um I don't know if you play Rust on Steam, but Rust is a shooter game. It's an FPS game, survival game. But hey man, if you suck at aiming, if you don't know how to aim, you can like be the builder. You can be the base
Right.
designer, you can be the farmer, you
Multiple
can be
roles.
the, yeah, tech guy. So this type of game does bring variety of players. So if you have a game that bring variety of what people like, competitive, let's say, chilling time and stuff like this, role playing and stuff like this, I think it have a big market there, because you are basically attracting everyone, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like Overwatch. You got tank support and DPS, and then they have a range of balance between them. Like you can be super high DPS but super low health, or you can be a mid DPS with like mid health. Like we give people all sorts of ways to play.
Mhm.
I think that's what I like the most. And like you said, you could if you give people all different types of way, everyone will find a character or something that fits for them.
Exactly, because even in Overwatch, if you are really bad at aiming, I mean, I in Overwatch I played a tank, and I was like rank 3 when it's come to the stats with my tank along with XQC, and I was ranked like 200 something in North America, because Overwatch Singapore server used to be bond with North America server. It's some sort of weird setup, but yeah, I was like
Yeah.
in the top 500 players. So if you give me a DPS and I go to like at my rank, man, I get demolished. But when I play tank, I was like, God damn, I didn't even need to aim in this game.
Are you a Reinhardt guy?
I was Winston, guy.
Oh yeah, Winston. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like when you jump in and just like
Yes,
yeah,
and just
go
be
crazy.
aggressive and just go
Yeah.
crazy and rage. It hit me, when I was like, it's primal rage, and I was like, motherfucker, take this. So I like staying away. I like staying alive, like for
Well,
a longer time, and initiating fight and basically control the pace of the game as a tank.
Seuss, I definitely got to get you into a Golden Tides play test. I don't think there's anything left to do but have you play the game.
I
I
will definitely
You seem
play it
like the
after this
type of
game. I will
players
get
we
it.
want to have.
Yeah,
I
I will
think
definitely try it out.
but instead of talking about the game so much, I did upload. I'm pretty sure this is old because you guys are in alpha, but I can share
He
the
can
trailer.
share with us the game itself, a gameplay, right?
Well, I
Yeah,
have
let's
the
see what
trailer.
Billy has loaded up, and then
Yeah.
if I think we have something better to show, I'll load something up.
Yeah,
And all right, let's let it roll,
let's
Billy.
see it.
I'm not too sure how long this is. I just uploaded it, so here we go.
All right. That's
So
our
Man,
trailer.
that hero who like went suddenly big and started smashing thing. I wanna try this guy.
His name's Aldo Oakfall, and he's a dwarf. He started out like I wrote all of their lore and their backstory. So he was like a peaceful musician who was sailing from island to island playing music, but then pirates attack and kill all of his musician friends, and he's the only survivor. And he then dedicates his life to being like the defense minister of the islands. So he learns how to use a shield and all these other things. He changes in his flute for the shield. um, so that's his backstory, but he kind of plays a little bit like Reinhardt, like he has charge and he has shield and a couple other moves. Each character has a passive and 6 abilities, so you can play in like a lot of different ways. And the game's designed around like using your moves in different types of combos.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Uh, I have not tried. I wish I tried it. Actually, I should have listened to Billy, and he was like, "Hey man, you should. How I will get the access key?" And he was like, "I'm playing, man. You have to join the Discord and do like this, do like that." And I was like, "Ah, god damn it, I don't have that much time for it." But yeah, man, I'm gonna actually. You can get me an access after this podcast. I would love to play the game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we have a playtest. I think I have a playtest scheduled for right after this call. It just popped into my head. If you wanted to, after this call, ping me and we'll get you in right away.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Billy, what do you think?
I don't have nothing better to do until 11 o'clock. So
All right.
I might be able to start playing for a little bit. But Seuss or anybody else who's watching or later on, there is the Discord right here. I can't fit the
Hmm.
entire title in there. It says Golden Tides Disc, but that's a Discord right there. You can just jump in and
Yeah. If you guys are listening to this podcast right now, if you do join the Discord, open a ticket and I will come reach out to you afterwards and we can onboard you to a playtest. And everyone who does playtest and leave written feedback will earn a free NFT when the game launches.
Nice. Speaking of NFT, so is the NFT will be the characters or in-game items? What sort of NFTs you guys offering? Because some like to go for the characters only, and each characters maybe have some ability like farm more or do some certain things, and some like to go with the items, like all the items that you're collecting will be NFT and stuff like this. So what type of NFT you guys are going for?
Yeah, so the game, we're starting really simple. We're not trying to change the way people play like too much when it comes to items and collectibles. Primarily these PvP games that are free to play, the main selling thing is a cosmetic. So we're going to be focusing on character skins as our first digital collectibles that people can purchase. Um, and whatever we're giving away as well. So eventually, over time, we'll be adding additional cosmetics. So you'll be able to have ship skins. So you'll be able to have different ships. I'll actually stream up some of the art that we have in production to kind of make it more fun and interactive here. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, I will pull
Okay.
it right here.
So this is actually the skin that we're giving away to people who alpha test. It's this is one of the main characters. This is the base skin. So when you play the game, you get him for free, but you can get this version of him with the swordfish and the iguana as the skin for alpha testing. He has the world traveler, sleepy version of himself, pajama man. These are some references, but overall we have a lot of cool like skins. Like this is a base skin for our support character who's like a chef and he throws food at people. And then these are some of the skins that are going to go into the production here. You got noodle chef, beekeeper, warforged cook, fancy chef. You know, a lot of cool stuff. We got this fire breather who's got volcano skin, circus skin, dragon skin. Um, you know, then we have the shark pirate who I think actually the finished versions here. Yeah. Another healer over here with her wilderness version. So we have a lot of cool like cosmetics that are going in the game. We're going to do mounts and we're going to do pets as well. So you'll see things like that happening. But some of the cooler cosmetics will be like your pirate ship. You can actually, I know it's not loading really well because our Miro is a lot of data, but you can kind of see that we have a
Yeah.
lot of different types of ships planned out and they've been evolving from their their base level stuff up to, their colored versions here.
This is purely a cosmetic, right? Even when it's come to the ship.
Yeah, so we don't want anyone to ever have to feel like people can pay to
Pay to
win.
win, right? That's what you are trying to avoid.
Yeah, so the cosmetics, they might give you perks outside of the game, but they won't give you perks in the game. Like it's not going to make you better than someone else. Only your skill level will do that. But like the Genesis collection of skins are going to give people bonuses like the ability to be automatically whitelisted or allow listed for future
Yeah.
collections. So it's kind of like, hey, support us early and we'll continue to support you guys along the way. As long as, we're building up a really strong IP, the collectibles will have value based on the popularity of the game. So we do want to incentivize our early people to, participate heavily with us and support us as we support them. So that's kind of the idea, is like give people the perks outside of the game and not like in the game, because I personally would hate it if I like was grinding for like a week or two to get something and then some guy came in, dropped like $200 and bought it, and like he just like uses it to
Exactly.
beat everybody. You can't give people um, too much value in game. We will have some battle NFTs eventually, but they'll be you risk them. So you can, even if you did buy them, if your team is eliminated, you lose that item. Um,
Okay.
which is something that like we're going to balance out carefully, but it's not going to be in the MVP of the game. So in the first version, you won't have to deal with that. But just know that the team is highly focused on making a competitive game that anyone can just pick up and be equal footing as soon as you step in.
Yeah, the thing with which I really like, guys, that you did not go for pay to win, because I mean we played some games that pay to win, and everyone will be like, ah, fuck this game pay to win, man. I don't want to grind this shit, you know. So eventually you won't be catching up with players that who are like, spending that money to actually win the game. I think Cosmetic and me and Billy actually talk about this a lot before, and I do think in Web3 game, cosmetic is the way to go. Because look, I played Rust and I bought around $1,000 of like skins that I barely won't be even use it. And if I sell it in Steam, my money is still on Steam. I played Apex Legend. I bought cosmetic. I bought the heirloom in Apex Legend, and that thing cost me like $300 to mint it. And I don't
Mhm.
play Apex Legend anymore, but the heirloom is there. I can never use it. I can never even transfer it to my friend, to play it. So
You
it's
know,
gone.
you, you're really touching on the Web3 philosophy.
Yeah.
Like, why is Web3 important in gaming? And I know this is one of the big topics that we have planned. So I think now's a good time to bring it up, because you're talking about how you spend all this money in other games. And I
Mhm.
don't understand why those game developers like care to hold on to the asset and not let people resell it. They act like it's this like whole new business model that doesn't work, but when reality is like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon cards, basketball cards, it's the same exact business model. They're just collectible pieces of paper. They don't actually have any intrinsic value. It's just a piece of cardboard with a picture of Pikachu on it. But why is it worth a couple $100s? It's because people value the IP and they like to collect stuff. And I don't understand. I can open a pack of Pokemon cards and then resell my Charizard for a profit, and Pokemon doesn't care. I don't understand why Apex or Fortnite or Overwatch or League of Legends, why are they, why won't they let you resell or trade? And it's really, it's a capitalistic view. It's why not let the people enjoy the product? Like let them collect and love the IP.
Yep.
You know, all of the collectibles, they only have value because the IP is popular. So I don't understand why you wouldn't let them have that secondary market. And especially when like Web3 is offering systems that have royalties and other things. And, I get that they want to sell 1 million copies of things an unlimited amount of times. But in reality, like you should value the players who give you their time and money and energy because, they're your ecosystem. And, I personally, as a gamer, I like to value the gamer more than the developer. It needs to be like a, symbiotic relationship, right?
Mhm.
Like I personally, I use this story all the time. It's, if I'm a parent and my child says, can I have $10 to buy a Fortnite skin? And I'm like, yeah, you can have $10 to buy a Fortnite skin. And then a week later, they're like, can I have another $10 to buy a Fortnite skin? It's like, I just gave you $10 last week for this. Like, what happened to that Fortnite skin? And they're like, it's like, I don't know if I can do this every week. And then if you give the kid the tool to run his own little operation, be like, hey, why don't you sell your Fortnite skin for $8, right? You might lose $2, but go ahead and sell that old one that you're no longer using. And then I'll give you $2 and you can buy the new one. And now the kid
Yeah.
gets the new skin. The parent saves $8 on the second skin. And this is the version where where you're losing money. There's times where the kid could profit, right? Because he got the rarer skin
Yeah.
and whatever. But like the point is like this is a win-win-win, right? The kid wins, the developer wins, and the parent wins. So like I'm just talking one example. There's obviously tons of other ones, right? Like you talk about people who collect Magic the Gathering, all these other things. If you've been collecting for 20 plus years, your collection is now worth a ton, right? So like you could go cash out if you ever needed money in an emergency. You could go sell your Magic the Gathering cards. I don't see why people shouldn't be able to do that in games. We're not creating new business models. We're just taking old business models and making them digital.
Better,
Yeah. Well,
improving them.
sorry, Billy,
Yeah.
to get that time. I know you have a lot
No
of
worries.
points to talk,
Go
but
ahead. Go ahead.
one point I want to touch on this, and I always say it in the podcast. Listen, uh, Web3 games need to approach it in different way than they were approaching it. I mean, when it comes to tokenomic in Web3 games, it's always tied up to the game itself, and when the tokenomic crash, the game itself is gone. Axie Infinity went from 2.5 million players a day to like 100,000 players a day. I mean, it's still a lot, but you can see the big drop. And
Yeah.
I will tell you one thing. For me, Web3 games, in terms of uh, tokenomics, let's say, they struggle a lot. And I do really don't see the points of trying to push towards something that have proven that doesn't work. And I think a cosmetic is the way to go, because you don't attract investors in the game, you are attracting players, and when players love the game, they spend money on the game. Okay, no matter what game you play, like Valorant, for example. I played Valorant a lot for like less than a year. I start grinding the rank, and I find myself, because I'm enjoying the game, spending $150 for the champion skin, and stuff like this. But the great point about cosmetic, that if you are minting limited edition skin that you can
Mhm.
only get it one time, you know, And then after 5 6 months, this skin become like super popular, because if it's animation or whatever the look is, and then actually this cosmetic skin can worth way more than what you are purchasing it for. So this is a good for players who want to trade and purchase cosmetic skins, than
Yeah.
just normal skins. But I mean, I bet my champion skin, if I can sell it in Valorant, I can sell it 5x the price that I bought it for, because this is like one time thing. And
Right.
people realize that this skin is really good after it's gone. So I think that how the project can benefit from this, well, royalty fees. If you apply royalty fees on your skins, then you would be able to get, I don't know, artist fee. I don't know, how we will be able to implement this, but a portion of that will go as a royalty fee for the artist or the game or the self, let's say 10%. Then the 90%, hey man, you can trade or lose $2, but as you said, you will always have another skin.
Yeah. I mean, just to note on that, it is what I said, like the value of the items and the value of everything is tied to the popularity of the game. You mentioned that Axie had like 2.5 million at one point, right? And
Mhm.
that's when everything was valued at its highest. And then because the game wasn't actually very fun, it crashed, right? And then
Mhm.
like it comes down because they couldn't retain the users. They were actually there to grind out the token, not to play the game. So like
Exactly.
the popularity of the IP and the popularity of the game is what will be sustainable for it, right? Like you play League of Legends, people have been playing for 20 years, right? So that's
Mhm.
20 years of like loyalty because of the love of the game. If they actually launched NFTs within League of Legends, obviously it's way too late for them, but like if they did do that, like the response would be high. I think people would really buy into it, and I think the early ones would be like worth a lot, and the limited supply you know would change everything. I do think that Web3 is going to have that shift where you're talking about like play to earn versus cosmetics. The games shouldn't focus on play to earn. It's like
Exactly.
it's a marketing trick to get people to come play this game and whatever. And it's cool to onboard people with the idea of playing games for money, but like that's not really what it's about. The idea is about value retention for the players. Like if you spend money in our game, we're going to give you something of tangible value that you can do something with. It's not really about like buy this and then earn tokens while you play. It's like, nah, like we'll let you earn tokens while you play, but those are used to buy the skins, which are collectibles. The tokens like
Yeah.
has no value to us. We don't care about the price. Like the idea is to like probably we don't even want to go fully decentralized. We're probably going to do this on our own server where we control things. We change the prices of skins based on the value of the token. So the basic like the skins never really go up and down in our store. They just kind of like fluctuate by the amount of token that's being farmed. So if a lot is being farmed, the prices are higher. Like like
Yeah.
mix and match it. Like if like a centralized entity can control the like in and out of the token, that's a better like flow. And then people aren't really focused on profits. They're just focused on earning the collectibles. And it's not really about play to earn. It's just about playing for fun.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, eventually, if you attract investors in your game, their emotion is gonna be with their investment. They lose their investment, they're gonna fuck the game. They're not gonna even they like the game, they will say, "Fuck
Yeah.
this shit. I'm not playing. I lost money on this game." Right?
I
So
have
yes,
such a cool thing
important
to
to get the
tell you.
community. Yeah, important to build a community gamers, and that's what we try to do in Boneyard. We want gamers. We want people who play games. This is the community we want. We don't want people there for, some sort of giveaways, or we want there some people for personal gain. We want people there to play games.
100%. Well, I think I'm going to share something about our project that you're really going to like, Seuss. We've never sold NFTs or a token. We did everything traditionally. We were always focused on making a great game. And I always thought, even for 2 years, that if we sell NFTs without utility or of any like, substance behind them, that people will turn on us. And that's what's happening all around the market, right? All those people who did those cash grabs thought they could make a game, took the money and ran. Like the sentiment, they're killing Web3 like sentiment in general. But I do think that like like any industry, there's always drifters who come, they try to get as much as they can and they leave. And then the people who continue to build and like focus on making a quality product first, they will rise. Like Amazon, eBay, all these websites. There was a time where there was thousands of websites offering all the same shit, but only the best ones survived. And the same thing will happen with Web3. And I do think Web3 gaming is like the next thing to really get like a dynamic shift in the market. Eventually gamers who are against it will realize why it's important, and it will be based on traditional business models of like trading cards, right? Like there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to resell collectibles of an IP when it's not a new idea for them. The idea that was new for them is, can I get paid to play a video game? And that does sound like a scam, right? But the idea is not to get paid to play a video game. It's just get paid, just collect, and because you're having fun. No one ever said, "Hey, Pokemon cards is play to earn." No one ever, marketed
Yeah.
Pokemon cards like that. They're just like, "Hey, it's a fun card game, and people love it so much that they'll pay extra for good cards." And that's just where it's headed. And eventually, people will, they'll want to save that $8. Back to my story.
Yeah, it kind of comes
Yeah.
back to like collectability and rarity. Like whatever you pull, it's an RNG. It's a candy ball machine where you go buy a pack and you open it up, and people still do it to this day. I was scrolling on TikTok, and then there's some lady opening up her card packs and shifting them around, and then showing the camera and like, okay, okay, okay. Oh, look, we got a holo.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
the fact that it's rare and collectible, and the same thing goes with NFTs.
Yeah, Top Shot is like the original like NFT,
For
like what
example.
started that NFT bull run, and their business model was just trading cards. Like Top Shot did it so perfectly. They took a popular IP like the NBA, and they made digital collectibles that were video highlights rather than playing cards. It ran its course, but I'm still pretty sure there's a lot of people participating in it. I think if you gave the collectibles more like interactive value than just a video, people would be even more engaged. Like turning each player's season stats into like a game utility, so you can actually play like a card game with them, would be like a really big thing for Top Shot. But the idea behind it was just collecting cool NBA highlights because you love your team.
Right, exactly. I think it goes hand in hand with gamers and Web3 and gaming and stuff like that. It's it just that's the same thing with me. I show my little collectibles that I have laying around from time to time, and it's just I like to collect them. It's my memories. Like if I got an old PSP laying around or an old Game Boy laying around, I go and show people, say, hey, check this out, da 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 da. And it could be rare now, or it's a rare version of it. And it's the same thing if I were to go buy, an NFT or maybe earned one in a game, and then it's a candy ball machine where it's an RNG. I don't know what I'm going to get. If I pull a rare one, then I could possibly say, what, I already have this one. It has the same utility, but this is a rare skin. I can go turn around and sell it. So what other types of integration of Web3 do you have for Golden Tide? So we got these skins going on. You mentioned something about a token. Tell us the whole rundown of Web3 inside Golden Tides.
Well, the things we're doing for sure are the cosmetics as NFTs. We'll eventually do the battle NFTs, which are the items in game that you like kind of they don't make you win, but they might turn a moment in the battle in your favor. Another thing that we're going to do is trying to think it through here. which
Before you say
which
it, yeah.
part? There was battle NFTs, cosmetics, and the token. We're not sure if we might just do a database token that you can swap for a thing, kind of like World of Warcraft lets you swap the gold for their in-game store currency.
In-game token.
So like it'd be like a dual thing, database plus a token, and then you can take the token out and swap it on a bridge. So the main thing, and why did we choose pirates? And this is like a question that people ask us, and it's treasure. We can put anything inside of the treasure, even if like a sponsor that like, let's say we had Nike or Artifact, right? That like Nike NFT company, you could take like real life sneakers and put them in the treasure chest as an NFT, and whoever burns the NFT will ship you the sneakers, right? So the fact that we can put anything inside of the treasure, it makes it super fun. It's also a marketing tool. If we had 1 million users, whether they're buying NFTs or not, we can then market things inside of the treasure. So you could have like, oh, this month's treasure is brought to you by Coinbase, and over the month we'll be bearing 3 Bitcoin in multiple servers for you guys to find, and it's sponsored by Coinbase. So then we can do like a Coinbase treasure chest. Like, there's a lot of cool ways to use treasure and Web3 together, because it's like, it's a prize pool system built into the code, rather than like a tournament or a prize like thing that people are hosting outside of the game. It's like hosted right inside of the game.
That sounds dope. I love it. It goes back to me and playing fantasy games, and like, going back to playing other pirate games, is that search for the treasure. You got to find that booty. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
a question I had for the ships was, going to playing online and stuff like that with your friends. How are there going to be guilds? Can you change your sails to your logo? Like, we were mentioning earlier, the little logo we got up there. Can I throw my logo on my ship and stuff like that? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, so one player in the group, like there's always a group leader. In our game, it's called the captain. And the captain, whatever ship NFT or ship like that he has, the group leader's ship is the ship that you will sail on. And we are going to let people upload their icons onto the flags.
Awesome.
It's something we're working towards for sure. The idea of like building an identity helps like gaming streamers, right? You have your specific ship, your specific skin, your flag. It helps like create your identity. So if you do like play in like a bigger tournament or something, people will see your ship and they'll be like, oh no, there's Billy Bones and the boys.
Yeah, and also it helps, identifying clans and guild. I'm sure you guys will be working on some sort of clan system or clan battles and stuff like this. Do you?
I mean, I think that's something that we'll have to address later. I think getting out like the base product and letting the like fan base grow is our goal. So we're gonna have more of a traditional grouping system, kind of like, in the lobby, make your group with your friends and then join the server. Or if you're by yourself, join the server and we'll find a group for you. But over time, like adding guilds, clan, like making, so people can like figure it out in the game would be an awesome tool to add. But again, we have 1 million things to do before we get there. So, and because people can just they already have their communities, DAOs, and other things going on outside of the game, it's not an important thing for us to add right now, but in the future, it would be something cool to do.
Yeah, 100%. I do think clan system in games can go very very well. It is early stages, and most of the games usually focus in the development before adding the clan system on it. But one question I have for you is, what region do you guys focus for? I am, for example, from Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia have a big player base in terms of games. Might not be very big in terms of like PC gamers, but the population in Asia is like massive, for
Yeah.
gamers.
Well, we
So,
definitely took that into account. The reason why we chose the MOBA top-down view is that actually, like, you don't have to load in the higher graphics because you don't have to look into the distance. So the fact
yeah,
that we only have to load in that, like, the viewpoint of top-down, allowed us to take down the total, like, requirements of the computer specs. So we only need like 8 gig of RAM to operate the game at the highest like function. So it kind of opened up the player base, right? The computers now can be up to 12 years old and run this game at the highest quality, rather than, Fortnite or something where you need like the most up-to-date graphics card to
yeah,
experience it at its peak. Like, we focused on like, how do we account for, because Philippines is so popular with Axie and other things, how do we account for getting players in China and the Philippines and Southeast Asia when all these other games are trying to focus on first person, third person shooters. We were like, let's do a MOBA because, they're probably the most popular games in the world because they're so compatible with older computers.
Yeah, and MOBA is very popular for Asia region, specifically in Southeast Asia. I mean,
For
man,
sure.
I walk in Philippines, and these guys play Dota. Like a 5 years old will be insanely good at this game. I mean, yeah, and then LOL as well. It's a MOBA game, especially also Mobile Legend. I don't know if you tried the game on your mobile before. Mobile Legend is like took the market by storm in Philippines in
I
terms
know,
of
but people, everyone has a phone, so like that's always going to be the
yeah.
biggest market. But I think, Seuss, and I know that the phone games are not as good.
It's 100. I always say it, man.
um,
I say it to Billy. It's not as good as PC.
the
100%.
the thing is we want to make games that we would play at our studio. And I'm just not really a mobile player. I think we can eventually do our title in mobile, but again, we have an uphill battle. We have to win over the market, and people have been trying to knock off League of Legends and Dota for years, right? Smite,
Yeah,
Battle
Years.
Right, they keep
yeah.
trying to come and just take a piece of the market. And we're no different. I'm not going to sit here and be cocky like we got this. We have to market, we have to push, and we have to make an awesome game. So it's always been a focus. Hey, let's make a game that we would play. Like I need to make a game that I would enjoy more than League of Legends, right? And
Mhm.
like if we don't achieve that, we're not going to win anyway. The game has to be popular standalone on its own. Otherwise, the assets we're selling don't have any value. So no matter what it is, this is a long journey that we're embarking on, and we know that. And having the support of people like you and the communities around us is the only way that we're going to get it from that ground floor to the next level. And then 5 years of polishing and adding features and stuff is going to get us to that that people love us as and us as game developers. We always focus on giving the people what they want. There's so much work to do to achieve this, but in the end, we're gamers making games for gamers.
Yeah, I agree. Uh, in the future, let's say like later on when the game fully launch, everything is fine. What do you think of the approach of having a version of it like LOL? I think LOL have that LOL. What was it? LOLcraft, something like this in the phone, right? Which is made only for phone. I think that would
Yeah,
be an option for phone gamers. It is not basically what the game it is on a PC, but it is an options, for expansion for people who, I
yeah.
mean, use
If the IP
like
was
to play game
popular
actually.
enough, if the IP gets popular enough, definitely have to add like a mobile version of the game, like a little bit different than the PC one, just like to adapt to the controls. Um, we of course would go and look to do that, but we have to win in the current like market that we're focusing on first. But if the IP is popular, then we'll have the money to invest into a mobile version. But again, it's very difficult to win the love of the people. So we're ready to try. We've got cool lore. We've got a great combat system, and we're about to have great ship fighting. We're about to have great PvE, and then we're gonna have questing. And if we can just like nail every single element of this game, then the people will come and the love will come, and then hopefully we can provide them with the mobile game or whatever it is that the people want. We're gonna listen to the community and we're gonna give them what they want.
Speaking of questing, I that led me to want to ask how much of that is going to be on chain, because I know there's a lot of like questing sites where you can go and do quests and progress and like level up and stuff like that. Do you guys
Yeah.
want to do anything like that?
So we'll work with those questing sites and we'll be like, hey, go in the game, complete like play a couple rounds and we'll give you something. That's a totally different type of questing than I'm talking about. When I'm talking about questing, I'm talking about more of the like traditional World of Warcraft style questing where you find a character in the game, gives you a quest. But ours, because it's like we're creating a new genre with our questing system called quest racing, or at least that's what we're calling it. And I'll share my screen and show you a little bit about it. But the idea is like more of like a tournament bracket where two teams are doing the same quest at the same time. Let me just stream up real quick, just so as I talk, you can look at it. You can see my quest writing thing right here. Can you see this?
Yep.
Okay. So the idea is like the map looks something like this. You'll spawn in the ocean in one of these like purple areas. And 32 teams of 4 would be the full server, right? So these green boxes here, imagine them representing a team of 4. So 2 teams will enter a quest. One team might have Alice row up to her on her in her rowboat saying, "Hey, my son William was kidnapped by shark pirates." And then the second team will find a message in the bottle in the ocean, and they read the message says, "Hello, I've been kidnapped by shark pirates. I need help." So now you have 2 teams on the same quest, even though they received it differently, and then they'll work to move forward in the quest. So only 2 teams go into a quest, but only one team can complete it. And when you complete it, you get an item that sends you to the next quest. And then that is a tournament bracket. You start with 32, then you're at 16, then you're at 8, then you're at 4. And at 4, we give you a treasure map, and then the final 4 teams will be looking for the final treasure. But just because you lost your quest race in the first round doesn't mean you're out. Your compass will now point to the team that has the item you were supposed to get, and you have to steal the item from them, which essentially makes you into a pirate. So it's always about chasing down someone if you're not on a quest. So it's like this new genre. We call it quest racing. It's a tournament bracket of questing towards the middle to the final treasure. We don't think any game's ever done anything like this.
And so if you're chasing, you say you're a pirate now, you're already out, and you go and steal their treasure, do you take their place and they become the pirate?
Yeah, so essentially the only way to eliminate a team from the server, like in Fortnite, you kill them, they're out. And you have to sink their ship because the ship is the spawn point, so you have to destroy the spawn point. So if you steal the quest item back, and if you steal it on land, most likely they'll still be in the game and they'll be after you now. But if you steal it at sea, more likely you had to sink them to steal it anyway. So they're eliminated. So like as you progress towards the final treasure, teams will be falling out. Some teams will be trailing. It'll be a mix and match every round. And the quest system is actually written in a way where each individual quest can be swapped out. So if I write 10 quest 1s and 10 quest 2s, there's already 100 ways to play the game. And then make another 10 quest 3s. Now there's 1,000 different like variations of the game. And then make 10 quest 4s, and that's 10,000, and so on and so forth. We could keep writing quests until there's millions and millions of different variations of playing the game. So no matter what you do, you have a different experience every time. Whether people are killing you at sea, killing you on land, whatever, like every game, the gameplay ends up being a little different.
And no one's done this before that you know of.
Honestly, it took me like 2 to 3 months to develop the formula for that, to actually write those quests in that like swapping function and all that stuff. So to my knowledge, I don't think anyone's done questing like this, because I don't think there's many PvP games that like focus on questing as the primary like objective.
Interesting. That's awesome. Before we go into something else, I wanted to ask, when I think of pirates, I think of booze, I think of rum. Is there some type of treasure or power-ups or something that you can use with rum or booze or something like that? Because I can't get away from it. I had to ask that, but
yeah,
every time it's Jack Sparrow. Where's the rum? Of
course. Well, we haven't done our item system yet in game, but you can bet that there'll be potions and rum and things that you can find that like will give you like perks in the battle. Like when you kill NPCs, they usually will drop some items that give you like of some value. So you might find something like that. We haven't done the breakdown of what those items are, but obviously like pirate themed stuff will find its way in the game. You have the dwarf character, and when he hits people, they spill out dwarven ale, and that regenerates his shield. So right now in the game, you can like drink the ale, but it's it's a passive ability. It's not like an active thing. But
Right.
yeah, we'll definitely, we'll find a use case for rum for sure. I don't see how we can't. I think you have to keep the theme going.
Right. And with pirates being pirates, they can sail anywhere. That kind of opens up the doors to where they can go and the themes you can have. Have you thought about this? Or is that something you would think? I know it's very early, but you can have any type of theme. It's almost like time. you can have you can go any place and do anything. It's not so much time, but you can sail anywhere. You can go anywhere in the world. So would you think to have like certain themes, like because you got the dwarf, right? You can have I don't know, some Vikings. You can have some uh, other types of pirates from the Caribbean and Africa over there and stuff like that. Like any type of pirate you can think of, right? So would you think about doing like other types of themes from other like areas in the world?
Yeah, we want to do like seasons. So like when we do our collectible drops, it'll be like, all right, like this season is, this theme. In the beginning, it'll be more broad, but like we have some planned out. Like we have a salvage ape steampunk theme, where we have like an ape community that like has steamboats instead of pirate ships. So like you could come get the steamboat skins for your ships. You get the ape skins as a character, and like we'll introduce things like that. It's possible that we could do some more real life influence things, but like right now we're like focused very much on the fantasy elements.
Okay, okay. To go towards more fantasy, my thing is dark shit. Like I love dark stuff. I love dark themes and everything. So the ghosts and stuff like that of dead pirates and ghost
We have
ships and
that.
stuff. That okay, cool, perfect.
We have we have the undead ice mage. We have like titans in the game who are like these godly characters that like one of them is the Titan of Death, and he's in charge. He basically created the undead like army, and like we have a half undead, half human character who is like her backstory is very like complex, sad, and dark. A lot of them have like pirate-esque dark backstories. So if you really like that, I think you should check out the lore on the website. We have 4 character like written, 3 more are going to be published this week. But even our main character had to kill his nephew to like broker peace between the humans and the beasts. So like
Damn,
they all
that's
have
dark.
yeah, they have some great backstories. And I even told you the dwarf, like his entire music crew was killed, and then he had to become the minister of defense because he had to change his entire life because he didn't want to feel that way and he ever again, like helpless musician type in a battle. What else? Who else do we have? We have the Deadeye, the soul sniper, who like he was killed in a war and his soul was captured and eaten by the Titan of the Deep. And during a battle, his soul was released, and now he's stuck in his ghost body, like forever looking for his physical form. So there is a lot of darkness and a lot of pirate-esque story that we tie in with the fantasy. I think you guys like even one of our the shark character, his ship and his dad get killed in a war, and he washes up on the salvage ape shores where they cut off his hand because he like couldn't help his shark instincts to steal, and then he sets out at sea with the hook. So there's a lot of pirate themed stuff, and if that's what you like, we definitely have it.
Awesome. And so I kind of wanted to go towards more talking about you rather than Golden Tides for a second before
Yeah, for sure.
we start closing up, because we've been here almost an hour now. But I wanted to talk to you and what you like to do. So what generation of gaming did you grow up on? Because I'm a little bit older. I'm in my 30s, and I grew up with like Nintendo because I had an older brother who was 6 years older than me. And then, but my generation is basically Super and Sega. So
Well,
what types of games?
how old do you think I am?
You gotta be in your 30s as well. It looks like just by looking
Yeah,
at you.
I'm the
I'd say
same age as
mid-30.
Suze. I turned 33 yesterday.
Oh well, happy
Oh,
belated.
we're same age,
Yeah,
1990.
Yeah, 1990.
Yeah.
I grew up with the Nintendo 64s, my favorite console of my youth. Of course, Super Smash Brothers is probably the game I played the most as a kid. I loved World of Warcraft. It was just always something to do in WoW. The raids were always like very interesting, maybe a little too slow for me now, but back then it was like it was just awesome to be part of a community that was out there killing giants and stuff. I really have always liked GTA, and I got in my 20s, I liked Fortnite, and I just probably play Rocket League. Anything that's like now is like I'm more like Seuss. I need to be a little sweaty and to be loving it. If I want to not be sweaty, I'll play Fall Guys, which is still like a PvP game.
So talking about Rocket League, going around, everybody is disabling trading and stuff like that. So do you think that Web3 is the answer to that? Because obviously you're building a Web3 game.
I mean, Rocket League's like cosmetics and stuff are like so garbage anyway. Like it doesn't actually like change the feel of the game or any. It's not the same as like when I play as Goku or something in Fortnite. It's just like it feels different. I don't know. I think like Rocket League taking away the trading is kind of like it's dumb to have given it to people for 10 years and then taking it away so you can try and sell cosmetics that they're not buying anyway. I personally think that it's not going to change anything. I think people are going to buy less. I think there's going to be less money spent in Rocket League overall. I don't think the players who are still playing Rocket League, I don't think they're going to go anywhere. I just think they're not going to care. I don't see where the benefit is when they're not going to be providing like totally unique skins, right? Like they do the paint over for like the cars, like I think occasionally put in like a Ferrari or something, but whenever it's a brand name car, they don't even let you do the attachable items to it. It's just too many limitations. I don't think that that's the answer to fix Rocket League if it's having a revenue problem. People aren't trading to make. There's no money value to the Rocket League assets. They're not trading to make money. They're just trading because it's fun, and they're just taking away some element that people liked. And I don't know. I don't think Epic Games cares too much. Really, they're just trying to turn a profit.
Yeah, it's probably kind of they should do something like CS:GO or Overwatch and just kind of revamp it and call it Rocket League 2 or something.
Yeah, I personally, it's just such a like simple, pure game that I don't even think like creating a second version actually would be good. I think in order to really fix it, you need to come up with a better system for cosmetics that people actually want.
Right, exactly. So what I like to ask devs when they come up or people who are building games is besides the game that you're creating right now, if you had all the money and all the time in the world, what game would you build? Your ideal game.
It's funny because you could ask me that question a while ago and I may have picked something different, but I do think that I couldn't come up with a better idea than what Golden Tides has become naturally. The fact that we have created this PvP PvE like combination system that I've never seen in a game before, and I'm a pretty big gamer. I think that it's slowly becoming like something I want to see it come to life. I want to see people playing it, and I really want to see it succeed. And I never played top-down games since Warcraft 3, really. I never really liked League of Legends. Click to move wasn't for me, and top-down felt wrong. And the more and more I test out the game that my team has been building, the more and more I'm like, oh, damn, like this has a real shot. And I feel that, like, and Billy, you played it a little bit, and it's not your type of game, but like it felt smooth. It looked pretty. It has so much like life to it, and it's not even. There's still like three major focuses that aren't in the game, like ship fights, NPC battles, and questing. Right. So once those pieces are in, I don't think there's like my next version of the game could be like a third person shooter version of the game, kind of like a Overwatch, but that would be cool. But right now I don't think I could come up with a better idea than the like quest system for Golden Tides.
So your ideal game is what you're already building then.
It just evolved. Like it started out as something like more simple, and it just like we're like, how do we get this more engaging? We kept like coming up with ideas to make it so people like are having every element of their favorite game all in one.
Right. So I think I've asked most of the questions I've got down here. Seuss, do you have anything else to ask? Oh, actually, before I give it away to Seuss, if Seuss is still around, um, I did want to ask. So we're heavily involved with Near Protocol. So what I wanted to ask you is, what chain are you minting on? What are you utilizing? Is it going to be multi-chain later on? As a gamer, I would want the choice to go to my favorite chain. So if you can have
Yeah.
more chains available, that would be great. So what are you guys thinking about, or do you guys already got some going on?
We're taking our time with this because obviously with the regulatory stuff and with the way Web3 is and like not knowing what's the leader, we are not in a rush to make a decision. We're focused on making a great game. We're looking at Arbitrum and Polygon as our like top two to consider. But in reality, we're not in a rush. We're going to focus on building most things inside of our database, and it has a bridge in, bridge out system. So you can essentially not even have to interact with Web3 elements unless you want to bridge out. Therefore, like your account and your tokens and your collectibles are all like stored in in our database on the centralized server. But if you want to, bridge out, take it out of your account, take it to your wallet, you can connect your wallet and do that. Likely that porting out those NFTs will be, like I said, Polygon or Arbitrum, but Polygon is likely to be the leader in the industry. So it would seem like that's the way we want to go. But there's a lot of conversations going on. There's so much to figure out. And I don't see why we shouldn't let people port out to any chain that they want. The question is can we achieve it? How long will it take? Should we start with one, add others as we go, wrap assets? Like there's so many creative ways to do it. We're kind of waiting for industry standards to be raised, and eventually we'll have to make this choice. But as of right now, we're just going to be building our store in our database, all in our game, so you don't ever have to close out the game to do anything. Kind of like the World of Warcraft auction house. But then after you have the item or you have your token, you can either go to a swap or a marketplace and do whatever you want.
Awesome. Yeah, I asked that because anyone who comes on here who have never really heard of Near Protocol, and it's pretty nascent at this time, but I could hook you up with the BD team from Near Foundation, and you can have a chat with them if you'd like. I think it's, like you said, it's a little too early right now, and you probably have your mindset on a bigger chain, obviously, for focus on gaming.
One of the reasons why we're considering some chains is that they have grant programs.
Right.
So, I'm interested in a chain that is interested in us. Right now, no one has thrown out a hard offer, so we don't feel the pressure to make any decisions. We know the quality of our game compared to the Web3 landscape. We know that our Web3 mechanics enhance the gameplay and as well are unique. So we're just going to focus on making a great game, and eventually people will come.
Exactly. If you build it, they will come. So
that's right.
I wanted to share this NFT that I've made myself. I dabble in pixel art, and it is on Near Protocol. So anyone watching or later on watches, you can scan this QR code. I made this in Sprite. I don't know how to do animations, so I was just dabbling with how to make something bounce. So, I love Game Boy and obviously and Billy Bones and the Boneyard. So I threw a skull on there. So if you scan this, it'll create a Near wallet for you, and it will create the wallet, everything. You don't have to do anything at all. It will airdrop you like a penny, whatever it is, to activate the wallet, because we can't airdrop you anything or send you anything until you activate the wallet. So you don't have to go to exchange, you don't have to fund the wallet, you don't do anything. You literally scan it, create your wallet, and you take over custody of it, and you get this awesome NFT that I made. And this is all for free, and it's super easy to do. What else? So we'll share the Discord up top here. Anyone watching or later on, you can jump into the server and create a ticket and get access to this game and grow this player base. Did you want to mention anything else? Jason?
Well, just to the Boneyard community and to Billy and Seuss, thank you for having me. I would like to invite any of you to play test. We have a playtest schedule in our Discord. Anybody who does, like I said earlier, if you alpha test and leave us feedback to help us improve the game, we will reward you with a collectible skin NFT when the game launches. So, anybody who supports us, like having us on their podcast, these are the things that we need to keep growing and getting this game out there. We do, hope to be able to deliver the first version of this game, the beta, by April, maybe May. So these are our goals, and we're just happy to have the opportunity.
Awesome. I'm glad you came up and spoke to us. I love these down to earth builders, in the space. A gamer is a gamer. I don't believe in people being elite and saying, oh, well, you don't have a following or anything like that. Like, I just want to talk to you because I want to talk to you and share your guys' what you guys are doing.
We're not on the hype train. Like, I'm not an influencer trying to hype people up, being like, yo, you're gonna make so much money if you buy this stuff. And it's like, that's always a scam. It's literally always a scam. Logan Paul taught us it's a scam.
Exactly.
Crypto Zoo. But yeah, man, it was really awesome talking to you. I am excited from how you are saying it to actually try it. The thing is, it is 1:30 a.m. here, and I have to drop my kid to school in a few hours. I think 7 a.m. But I am down to actually join now. I think Billy is down. I think, and maybe we can. We can.
Billy,
I can
add Seuss to the Discord chat with us, and I'll add him as a friend, and we'll get you in. We do play tests all the time, so you guys are welcome to schedule one for the Boneyard community, or you can jump into one that's already on the schedule. But I, of course, would be happy to have you both.
Yeah, I love it.
Awesome, cool. Well, thanks for coming, and we'll go ahead and end it here. We've been here for nearly an hour and 15, and thanks for coming on, and look forward to playing in a few seconds. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks, guys.
All right. Bye. Later, guys.